Thank you very much, Laska Hirluk, and very much welcome Minister Sean Fleming here on statements on the credit union and the importance of community banking. And we've all spoken here today about the levels of trust, and I mean we see that in all of our towns and villages. And I know, as Senator Murphy has said there, there are huge challenges when our traditional banks are closing down, like Access in our smaller towns. It's incredible, because it means people have to travel further to access banking services. I suppose, Minister, I would like to acknowledge how our volunteers, particularly in my own hometown, say in Ballinasloe, they started the credit union back in the 60s. Volunteers with amazing expertise themselves, perhaps in financial backgrounds, came together to provide a credit union for families that were in need. They recognised that there was a lot of poverty in our region and in our area. And that is the same for every credit union that came together. They're a phenomenal example of communities coming together to support each other and families in need. So many families use the credit union, of course, for loans, for savings. And in your submission here, Minister, or in your speech, you say that it's about recognising the role of credit unions, about the collaboration aspects, the approved housing bodies, and how every credit union can now invest in that. Agri-lending. You also mentioned supporting governance, member services and transparency of regulatory engagement. And I suppose, Minister, want to note that you yourself have engaged on numerous occasions in the past while, and it is a testament to the programme for government that we have a ministerial position here with responsibility for the credit union sector. I suppose it is also important that we are ensuring that trust and reputation is maintained. So in other words, that our customers in the credit unions have access to full banking services, but also that trust is maintained, and that we are supporting our boards of management and our credit union staff across the country. I know that the registrar of the credit unions at the central bank has brought out a number of risk assessments recently. Minister, if I could ask just a couple of questions, that if you have time to respond. But for me, banking, and we've seen it in our health sector, cybersecurity is a huge issue. Can I ask you, in your thoughts, is there a way for us to support these credit unions that are attempting to collaborate together, but also have an independence and an autonomy? Is there a way that we can have support at a national level for advisors to support them with risk management during their AGMs, and in terms of providing full-time expertise to support them as we transition, I suppose, to them having full-time banking and community services, particularly around cybersecurity? How are we supporting them to ensure that they have adequate means to protect, I suppose, online banking and for further attacks? Because this is a huge issue in the global, as we see right now what's happening at a global level across the world. It's absolutely shocking, but we know there's going to be a higher level of cyber attacks across all areas, and particularly banking. If I can ask, Minister, just the statutory reserve. I know that we've talked here about the cost for credit unions in terms of going to traditional banks to lodge the deposits, but you've also mentioned that there's other ways for them to invest, like through the affordable housing bodies and through retrofitting. I suppose if you might just expand on that. How do we support our credit unions to be able to access or to have maybe the necessary information or guidance to go down that road? Just the saving caps, a huge issue. We're seeing that there was a lot of household savings across the country over the last 2 years in certain elements or parts of our community. I suppose the last thing would be, just because I'm on education, but the apprenticeships. I would love to see that our credit unions, and you've talked about retrofitting there, but I suppose for me it's more about, we have courses now through apprenticeship in banking and finance. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see how our community banks are engaging with the apprenticeship programme? And that they're also getting support and getting people qualified, be it in cyber, finance, whatever the latest, and would you believe the apprenticeship programme today just rolled out 5 new programmes, and one of those is cybersecurity. I mean, wouldn't that be something phenomenal, that every credit union has access to someone who's getting trained up in cybersecurity? So just if any of those might be things you might comment on, and thank you so much for your time, Minister. Gurmagat.